Everyone, and I mean everyone, and their brother, sister, dog, and Aunt Judy has already reviewed this little bundle of hype, so who in the heck gives a rat's rear end what Ron from NRD has to say about it? My mom. She'll probably watch this 3 times. At least 3 times. That's who. Okay, Mom, and maybe 3 other people. So you need a streamer, and that's of course why you are here. I get it, and I'm certainly here to help. But before we get started, where are you gonna go and buy one? Or heck, maybe grab a pair of speakers while you're at it, or maybe even an amplifier, and why not a new pair of speaker cables or interconnects? All good. I got you. I got you. Audio Art Cable is now a one-stop shop for anything your sweet little hi-fi hearts desire. Whether it's a pair of headphones or a bad-to-the-bone turntable, the days of AAC being just another cable outlet are long behind us. So, Mom and the 3 other people, do yourself a favor and make sure you check out Audio Art Cable if you are interested in the EverSolo or any other hi-fi products, and would you know it? Save yourself 10% on any cables right now by using coupon code NRD10. How about that? I have thought long and hard about how to do this review, and this thing has certainly made the rounds as I've been busy building out the sound shed and twiddling my thumbs. Perhaps this is a good thing, as all of the initial hype has simmered down, and it seems to me that more critical reviews are getting some attention. In any event, I've decided not to bore you with a long list of features, running through all the menus, or chit-chat about the millions and perhaps billions of ways to use the EverSolo A6 in your modern audiophile system. No, sir-ree. In this quick rundown, I'm going to highlight how this product has made me feel, what I like about it, and how I ended up using this little black box of wonder. So, without wasting another second, let's dive in and talk through a couple of massive wins and perhaps some feedback for folks who are about to drop close to 1,000 smackaroos for the most talked about streamer of the last couple of years. The functionality and flexible I/O of the A6 is impressive to say the least. I often find myself daydreaming of the many different ways this thing can be connected to a number of different systems, and with all of the robust connections at play, I'd say this is a complete celebration of the hardware connectivity of the unit. Taking a look at the business end, you will find yourself a plethora of options to choose from, ranging from digital inputs, outputs, balanced and single-ended connections, all which make the A6 feel somewhat future-proof and prepared for any oddball configuration that we bonehead audiophiles can come up with. I use the A6 in 2 different configurations. First, after updating the software to the latest release, I installed Qobuz and Tidal, and with the press of a button, I was up and running and checking out new releases from both services. Obviously, no one in their right mind would be interested in getting off the couch every single time they want to change albums or switch songs, and this does bring up one need-to-know thing about the A6. It does not come with a physical remote, so you will be relying on your phone or tablet to control the interface. This was not a big deal for me, and it's how I already listen to music, so it's become second nature, but this might turn off some listeners who are a bit more old school. Either way, with the native app, I had no issues finding my way through the system and playing music in this context. It was relatively user-friendly and worked fine in my listening sessions. The second way I used the A6, which ended up being my preferred method, was to allow Roon to control the experience altogether, since the A6 is indeed Roon ready. The advantage here is I don't even need to bother with the native app or mess around with the menu interface at all. Since I'm already accustomed to Roon, this felt right at home, and it made the user experience feel effortless and easy. I should note, with Roon, a lot of folks might be using the EQ functionality within the software, but I should also mention the native app for the A6 also has EQ functions as well, which might be worth exploring, especially for folks who aren't using Roon. Ask anyone which is better, Apple or Android, and you, my friend, are in for an earful. Now, the A6 is based on Android software, and to me, it feels that way. Don't get me wrong here, folks. This isn't a dig or anything, and it's been many years since I've had an Android phone, but what I do remember about that experience reminds me of what the menu and interface experience is with the EverSolo. On one hand, the front panel screen is bright and it is beautiful, and at a glance, it appears to be intuitive, but for some folks who don't like menus and more menus and submenus and submenus of submenus and micro options for those submenus, well, let's just say they might be spending more time looking for options rather than listening to music. One of my YouTube buddies, Sternholm Reviews, mentioned this in his take on the DMP-A6, and I can see why he didn't love the user experience. While I didn't struggle as much as he did, I also didn't bother cracking this thing open and installing an SSD drive with terabytes of music for the A6 to index. So yeah, that alone might be the first key to understanding why I didn't end up using this as a boat anchor, and I actually learned to like it. For me, the positive usability of the A6 started when I simply used it as a streamer and nothing else. Now, I know what you're thinking, and I totally agree with you. There are a gazillion streamers out there right now that won't come close to $1,000, and they would certainly do the trick. And if someone doesn't care about fancy pants touchscreen with VU meters, well, that's a fair argument and quickly dismantles any reason they should buy the EverSolo. But hey, what about its sonic performance? I mean, is there any justification of spending $1,000 on this thing if it happens to be blessed with golden notes that somehow manage to reach those with self-proclaimed golden ears? You know, I've always felt that just about any rendition of any DAC using the Sabre chipset has always sounded rather cold and forward to my ears. I know that's going to bug the folks who think all DACs sound the same, and that's perfectly fine with me. In any event, the A6 does indeed seem to sound a little cold to my ears, but at the same time, very clean and precise, which might pair nicely with the right collection of other pieces in the system. So I decided to try something fun and set up the GR Research Bullies using my Zacaritis Devices 300B tube amps being fed direct from this little box of streaming wonder. The Bullies are a very interesting speaker in that they are incredibly sensitive and they only need a couple of watts to wake up the mid-range and tweeter section, while the massive direct servo subwoofer is being powered by its own plate amplifier. In this configuration, the A6 sounded incredible, and sure enough, bringing some tubes to the party is exactly what was needed to add a little spark to the EverSolo's sound. Don't believe me? Well, try this on for size.
Staying at home, turn off the phone, I will listen to you. You lay in the sheets, you hold on to me like I'm already gone, and whisper your words like secrets written in an old moleskin, and look up above, the sunlight seems like it is gonna break in, and something ain't right.
Smoking to every little cell. If you want to
heard it. So yeah, 300Bs can certainly bring the thunder with the right speakers, and yes, there are ways of warming up the coldest of DACs out there. Also, this got me thinking, now, what if somebody already had a bad to the bone DAC they wanted to use with the EverSolo? Knowing the A6 is capable of bit-perfect output via digital connections, this opened the door to feeding all streaming services rendered by the A6 to my tried and true MADAC, and folks, that was a checkmate if there ever was one. Did this configuration sound better than my Ineos Zenith? Not really, I don't think so. Maybe close, but I don't think so. But the Zenith is 4 times the cost of the EverSolo, so that's a bizarre comparison to try and make. Last, while I use the EverSolo in a very simple way and stuck to only streaming, it did offer one specific feature that caught my attention, which is the ability to rip CDs from an external USB CD drive.
What did you say?
Alrighty, so how hard can this possibly be? We got Tommy by The Who into the CD drive. It does nothing. I'm gonna, oh wait, yes it does. Detected CD drive insertion. Open. Yes. Cover art is there. Name of the songs is there. What do I do? Okay. Ripper. Format, FLAC, wave. Start. Oh! Okay. 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 I like you now. Now I like you. That was simple. Seeing how everyone on this channel already knows that CDs always sound better than streaming services because, well, we're the NRD club and we actually know what's what when it comes to great sound, I had to give this a try. Plugging in my little CD drive that's been collecting dust and burning a couple of CDs, this might have been the one and final thing that won me over, because this, combined with streaming, is exactly how I would end up using this unit, and for me, it worked perfect. I had no indexing issues and no cover art issues as well. In a landscape inundated with reviews and opinions about the A6, it's easy to dismiss one more take. Either way, amidst the many voices out there, I hope you find my personal experience with the A6 useful rather than a 45-minute video of me regurgitating what's already been covered to death. From my perspective, the A6 stands as an incredibly versatile machine that offers some of the best connectivity options I've seen in a streamer, especially at this price point. The choice between the native app control and integration with Roon will help some users gain footing in something familiar, and for me was a saving grace of the user experience altogether. The sonic signature of the A6 may not cater to all tastes, with hints of clinical precision, which can be tempered by a touch of warmth when paired with appropriate amplification. That's right. Its ability to serve as a conduit for high-quality audio, whether streaming through external DACs, underscores its versatility in accommodating diverse setups as well. Last, the A6's inclusion of CD ripping functionality may be its ace in the hole, bridging the gap between physical media and streaming in a seamless manner. For those who still hold CDs in high regard, which you should, this feature alone may justify its position in their audiophile rig. And with that, I'll see you EverSolo loving audiophiles in the next video.